Listen, we gotta have another important talk here because I'm kind of noticing a trend. That trend is not good. It's a trend of depression and anxiety and potential suicide and drug abuse and alcoholism. I'm not saying that our social media influencer type of generation is leading to these things, but it certainly isn't helping it. And as an influencer, if you're watching this, with your ability, opportunity to influence others to do good in their lives, if you're making them feel worse about themselves because you're living a lie, what does that say about you? So to all you other friends out there watching this video, stop looking up to these influencers. Stop looking up to these fake natties living a lie. Yeah, it's cool, man. They go onto the boat and they go drink and get, party and piss drunk and go to Dubai and go to the same alpha shark gym thing and do the same things, and they all look the same, and they go into the mold, and then they get put through the mold and then turned into the fake natty, and then they follow the program and the app and the clothing and the oh my. That's really who you want to look up to, these guys? These are the young men that you are looking up to. Have higher standards for yourself. I'm going to say it right there. Have higher standards. These guys now, they're not bodybuilders, they're influencers. There's a big difference. They're influencers that bodybuild. Work out. Exercise? I don't know. But so all these guys, they get your attention. You start to like their life. You start to watch them. And I gotta be honest with you, most of them are terrible in front of the camera. They're not even that entertaining. So what is it about their lifestyle that you are looking up to? I think it's the transformation, right? A lot of these guys, they have these great transformations, and you think to yourself, wow, if they just did a 50-pound natty transformation in 6 months or a year, I can do it too if I follow their program, because they're telling me everything they did, and I can do it too. Bullshit. So what happens is, you get 6 months down the road after buying their program, buying their clothes, watching their channels, doing their app, and you're not having the same results because you're natty and you're being honest and they're not. So now what happens? Now you feel worse about your transformation, which really was a good transformation. 10 pounds of lean muscle because you are a hard gainer in a year or two. Sometimes that's what you can get. And that is great because you made a change in your life. And just because head over here, he's being fake and lying and telling you that he did something that he didn't. Now you feel worse about yourself. I see more destruction and damage that influence is doing to our young generations, to the young people getting involved, wanting to bodybuild, wanting to make a change, wanting to train. And you, listen, I was a rock star. I was in the music industry, an actor and model for years. I had it all. I was in a band that did very well. And I was miserable. But I know that says something about me internally. I'm not the party type. I wanted a family. I wanted kids. I wanted to be a father and a husband. Because that, to me, is the purpose of this life. Not to party hard and then leave it behind. It's to prepare something for those behind us. Let me repeat that again because I just kind of said it and it makes a lot of sense and I kind of like it. The point of this life isn't to party hard and then leave it all behind. The point of this life is to live your best life, to leave something behind. We have a responsibility in this life. We have a responsibility to uplift others. The party lifestyle, that's not uplifting your life. It's making you feel better in the moment. And then having to do it again the next day because it's not fulfilling. Guys and gals, I did 23 years training naturally, training hard. Destroyed my body while a lot of other guys were juicing, getting big, and I'm sitting there working for every pound because I was a hard gainer, still am. And I never once put anybody else down for their decisions because I believe that we should all get to make the decisions that we want, okay? But do it honestly. Because a lot of the guys that I was training with that were juicing, that we knew about it. They were open about it. Nobody was like trying to hide it because somebody who's 170 pounds at 5'6", benching 4 plates on the flat bench, yeah, you want us to believe that? See, now that's the expectation that you, Mr. Fake Natty Liar out there, is giving to these young kids. So now they think that at 150 pounds, they're lifting 185 for 8 reps, flat bench, and they're like, wow, that was great, but oh man, douchebag on the internet, he's doing 6 plates, 8 plates for 8. It's not your responsibility to make somebody else feel better about themselves, but it's your responsibility to be honest about it. Because that's morals. That's standards. That's ethics. And we're losing that part in society in general, but definitely in the influencer lifestyle. Now, after doing 23 years naturally, I got a brain injury. I was smashed by the back end of one of my dump trucks. It completely cracked my skull, bruised my brain. I should have died. Okay, that was 6 years ago. But it hit my pituitary gland. And the pituitary gland is responsible for producing the body's hormones and doing it properly. My pituitary gland was effed up. I went into lethargy. I couldn't even open my eyes for a couple months because of the brain injury. It was so bad. But that's when I decided to go on TRT because I needed to elevate my natural levels and I needed consistency because now my hormones were all messed up. I went on TRT, but I also had major spine issues from injuries back in 2003, and everything I did continued to abuse my body. But I put this surgery off until just 6 months ago, so I had the surgery. But my point is to deal with my daily chronic pain and avoid pain pills, because I had already had dependency on them before. Now, at my doctor's advice, I decided to do 80 milligrams a week of DECA. That was phenomenal. But on my TRT of 250 a week, even increasing my DECA to 200 a week, that was even better. And that allowed me to live my life productively. Not as painfully as I would have otherwise. Because DECA is amazing. And I did a whole video on DECA. Take a look at that video. Because that's my experience with mild doses of DECA. And I firmly believe that it should be widely used. So I don't believe that anybody out there who hasn't been training hard for at least 10 years 10 years to blast your genetics beyond what you ever thought was possible. Show yourself what you're made of. Show yourself what you're capable of. And show yourself what you can accomplish on your own. Then, and only after then, do you start considering exogenous compounds. Or if you have a condition or a major injury or something like that that does limit or inhibit your natural body to perform at its best. Then, and only then, do you entertain exogenous compounds. Do you get my point? All these guys are jumping on here. Day one, they start lifting. Day one, they start juicing. Or they start their whole SARMs compound and they've never trained without it. They've never pushed their body to its limits, beyond its limits, because no matter what, it's assisted. And there is a big difference. Because although steroids don't make the body, they enhance the body. And what you accomplish naturally is greater enhanced exogenously, okay, with PEDs. But you gotta remember, if you're taking steroids or juicing or taking other compounds and you're not putting in the work, you're not gonna get any results. It doesn't work that way. So for instance, for me, 6 months being out of my spinal fusion, I was able to put some of my muscle back on in a much quicker period of time than I would have naturally. And I was able to do it with resistance bands, at light weights, at high reps, to put a little more muscle back on. And a lot of that was because of the assistance, okay? I've looked this way natural easy. I'm not even at my biggest. I'm 172, 73 pounds right now at 5'10". I'm probably like 15% body fat. Naturally, I was up to 183 pounds, 6-7% body fat, and I maintained that for about a year, that body fat percentage. But it became well, then my organs shut off and I died in 2003. And doctor said it was because I was doing it naturally. Imagine that. My point is, dishonesty is cowardly. It really is. Learn to teach yourself how to expect honesty from others. Whether it's family members or friends, social media influencers, or our teachers, we can and should expect honesty from each other. And we need to provide it. Okay? Being loyal, being honest, being dedicated, being faithful, those are qualities and traits that will transfer into your relationships with others and hopefully into your marriage with the person you love. Those are the traits that you need to exemplify in your relationships. It can start here. It can start now. It can start with YouTube. It's an amazing opportunity for a lot of us. So for you watching, expect honesty from me, because that's all I'm going to give you. My kids know. My kids know I've never lied to them, and I never would. Because I think lying is for p***s. Because you're afraid of the truth. And ladies, if any of you are watching this, I do claim to be a gentleman. I apologize for using that word because I want a lot of you ladies and women out there to be respected by the men out here. And I expect young men to learn to be gentlemen. All right, moving on. Now, as a side note, I actually did just get a big order from Vanquish. And oh my gosh, I'm wearing a pair of the joggers right now. And guys and gals over at Vanquish, well done. I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek. Not a sneak peek. I'm not going to give you a sneak peek. Now, I used Ross Dickerson's code for, I don't know if it was a discount or what, but there's plenty of Vanquish athletes that you can go jump on the page through their website or whatever. But seriously, these Vanquish joggers are pretty freaking amazing. I bought a bunch of the tanks and a few joggers, and I'm going to have a review for you guys, an overhaul. And so I want the takeaway from today's lesson to be, you deserve honesty, okay? And you deserve to look up to people, to have people to influence you. Honestly. But you have to be the one to set that standard for yourself. You have to be the one to set that expectation for others. So my name is Adam, and from now on, you can just call me Mr. Hard Gains, because I'll be a hard gainer for life. Now, I've been through an awful lot in my life. Catch some of my other videos to tell you exactly what, but I've been through a lot, and now it's my turn. My turn to take my physique to the next level, the level that I've always wanted to be at, but I'm going to do it transparently with all of you. I'm going to tell you what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, what I'm taking, so that you can know what to expect truthfully. Because I am the most hard-gaining ectomorph you will ever meet. Truly. That's a whole nother video. I'm going to make a video on that. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. I'm Adam. Catch you in the next one. All right, so I got a little package. I got a nice package from Vanquish today. I did buy